Hello, everyone. My first guest for my interview series for the Hangzhou Major is going to be NineK, head coach of Falcons, champions of Asia. Thank you for joining me, NineK. I want to start
Mhm,
asking you a little bit about, obviously, you joined Falcons at the start of the year. Why did you want to
mhm,
work with this team? Because you worked a little bit with them last year too.
mhm. I think the biggest part of the reason I'm joining the Falcon is they giving like a good salary. No, I'm no, but I think after they did like a great success at the final from the last year, I think a lot of like a issue happened inside, and they need to like someone need to be handled for that, and they're asking me like one of the part of the handle it, and I was not sure I want to join the Falcon because I was still want to looking for the different opportunity. But I think Falcon also like strongly want me, and that this conversation was get very clearly each other. So we jump into like a B team together this time. Yeah.
And then you brought in Ade and Sparkle as well.
Uh huh.
Why did you go for those two people to join you?
So they have a lot of candidate in that time, and I also need to be like a put someone have a really high experience because I think Junkbuck Kirsty have a we work together a lot of time. We know our weakness and strong each other, but if I bring just random guy to be like just seen, and even he from the good experience or high reputation or good leader by different coach level, I need to be like a work with team be like a different way and different style. And I think Aid is definitely one of the person I worked before, so I know he was strong point, he weakness point. So and he know my weakness also. So we are like a lock in together very clearly. And Sparkle is the first person I actually choose to be like making the new Falcon team coach because the Falcon has very good synergy each other as a player to be game player, but I think in the what is it? They don't have any like a very funny guy from the making the very good
Mm.
vibe in the last year. So everyone's working so hard, and but they need also someone need to be making the vibe more like a fresher and like a more like a enjoyable like a vibe. And I think I have a candidate for that person was also other person, but I think the other candidate already get the opportunity from the different team, and I think Sparkle is one person I already know. He's like a good person as a player also, and I want to try out him at the moment, and that is actually working very well. So that was one of the biggest reason I like signing want to sign with the Sparkle. Yeah.
Also, as a team, you've got a smaller roster than
Hmm.
last year.
Yeah.
Is it? Do you think this is better? Lots of people talk about smaller roster in Overwatch now is better than a bigger roster. Was that intentional to have a smaller roster?
No, it was not intentional, but I think the biggest like part of the smaller roster have a more need to be working through our weakness more than like a bigger loser. Because if I big loser, I always have a different option to be like a escape from the our weakness or the something situation. We can be like just choose a different way. But if I have a smaller loser, everyone need to be like a jump into the like a very hardcore like a some like a pace. The point about that I'm trying to say is like we know we only have an off tank, and that is making our opportunity very smaller. But in the end, we like figure out a different way. It's like a same as like a Dallas like a 2021 because they don't have a main hit scan. So Doa and Sparkle like are making some new meta and it's working very well, something like that. So I think smaller roster have a mindset wise better, but I think actually situation wise, I think bigger roster is better.
One of the players who has is asked for most
Mhm.
of with a smaller roster is obviously Hanbin, who has to now
Yeah.
play a lot of heroes he's not had to play a lot of
Mhm.
previously. How do you
Yeah.
feel he's done adapting to this new role and these new heroes?
I mean, earlier point, it's hard to like make him be convince him to be like a play the main tank and like something new low or new style because he already have his strong point. So he doesn't have to be like a facing about his weakness, or he doesn't have to be like a facing about the main tank like a long time. I know he was like a facing at the 2023, but it was kind of like a rough year for him. But I think personally, after like a few lows, after a few like a system wise, he has likely to be like a long, very new like a hero and new like a style. So I think as a person wise, he improved on that point.
Do you approach it differently playing these
Hmm.
type of comps with Hanbin than you maybe would if you just say still had Smurf or like a person with more history on these heroes? Like, do you coach him differently or ask different things?
You mean if I have a Smurf, I will be coaching him differently? Is the point
Like,
you try to say?
do you try and play
Uh-huh.
like a different style with Hanbin than you would with a different Winston player?
Oh yeah, of course, of course. Because I have a lot of experience with the off tank player making to like a Winston. Coolidge is one of the person I
Mhm.
used to be have it. So it's much more easier than before because it was 2022. This new game came out and off tank player just jump into like a Winston. And that time I also kind of like not sure about the which one is right or wrong.
Mm.
But this time I think I already know the Hanbin personally, and he know to what his weakness. So it's way easier than before. But I definitely I can easily can answer. I will approaching him with the main tanker player totally differently.
Mhm. I wanted to ask about the team as well because last year
Hmm.
there was a lot of talk from the people working with
Hmm.
Falcons, and there were
Hmm.
some of the biggest issues they had to try and solve was players like Chio proper, players with lots of ideas about the game and how they should play, and trying to get everyone on the same page, same ideas. Are you
I
still having,
mean, I'm not.
or do you not think
Oh,
that's
sorry.
fair?
Yeah. I think I'm not sure about the what you're saying about this one because I was not like a full time on the Falcon
Mm.
last year, and I'm not sure why is it, where is it came out, and which point you're trying to say is. But I think this year, Chio and Purple doesn't have any issue right now, that's my opinion. And I think it's more if we have an issue, it's more different person to person. But I think Chio Purple was not have any issue in this year.
Yeah, it came from I think right at the start of last year, speaking
Uh
to
huh.
Junkbuck, and there
Uh
was
huh.
because they had like a lot of star players. It was
Uh huh.
people have their ideas about how to play from their own teams, and then
Oh,
there was a
okay.
bit of getting everyone same idea, same page. But you think now not so
Hmm.
much. Everyone more same ideas about the game.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to ask you about the meta as well, because there's been a bit of a
Hmm.
big break between games. We saw Soup Cup last
Hmm.
weekend, some games, lots of
Hmm.
different comps. What meta should we expect at the major next week?
I think 90% of the Winston, because I think major team of the each legion have a very good main tanker player like Kellan Junbin and Gushire and like a lot of like a Kufa also like a pretty good, and I think a lot of good main tanker making the good leader this time, and the Winston is actually a meta. So I think we can see a lot of different diverse of the Winston com, I guess.
Is this a worry for you then? Because obviously you talk about seeing so much of that hero, much newer for Hanbin compared to someone like Kushui who's done it for forever. Do you worry this is going to be a problem for you guys then as we go into this big tournament?
Um, kind of worry about that, but it's not like a really worry as much as our Gibraltar. I mean, Gibraltar Winston is much more harder than like just other map Winston.
Mm.
So I think we have a still chance to be like we making a good leader against a Winston Miracle.
And then obviously the NA teams, EMEA teams have come over to
Hmm.
Bootcamp in Korea as well. So you've got to scrim all of these teams. How have you found the level playing now against obviously all these teams and even the Chinese teams as well?
I think China team is really strong. I mean, last year we barely scrimmed with them except like a EWC, but I think this year they have their own league. So we have a bunch of the time we have a chance to be scrim with them, and their quality is getting improved. So I think definitely China team is strong, and EMEA I think they're strong, but we are not sure about the Junkbuck team. I can't like a pronunciation clear his team name, so sorry about that. And I think Nightmare we barely scream with them because I think we only like a book other team scream, but I think we scream there like a very few times. But I think they're actually pretty strong, and SSC definitely the high quality team. And I think people maybe can doubt about the right now about the because of Zuko, but I think that is one of the big reasons I think Sukov is really good for the Western team because Western team doesn't have a, like a what is it like a land game like a experience,
Yeah,
and
very
that
rare
land
in
game
yeah.
experience is really important when you actually play.
Yeah.
So I think that is making the player making more like a have a hard time to be like a fully jump it, and I think scream wise, I think their quality is pretty strong right now.
Yeah, I think especially this LAN, the arena is going to be
Mhm.
very big. One of the biggest, probably a lot
Yeah,
of players have played in for quite a
mhm,
while. So it's nice to
yeah.
get a little try,
Mhm.
a little bit of experience before the actual event. Then I of course have to ask as well because everyone wants to know the answer. Who is stronger, NA or EMEA from the teams you've scrimmed?
The very funny thing is like EMEA have a only off tank and
Yeah.
NA have a only main tank. So is the
Very
answer
different.
is
Yeah.
like, I think this if I'm be actually match, I prefer to match NA
Okay.
if I be realistic.
Hmm.
Because I think off tank mirror situation, off tank like a situation, I think something sometime is tricky and hard to face it because they don't have a very many off tank team.
Yeah.
So we can't like a practice like a high quality. And but if I can realistically can choose a one team or one legion is stronger, I think NA is stronger. If
Okay.
we thinking about the
Okay.
only high team right now,
Hmm.
only two team from the like that.
How would you
Uh huh.
say
Uh huh.
China compares to all of these regions? Because China have kind of been separate for a long
Hmm.
time. How strong are
Yeah.
they compared to the NA and EMEA teams and also to yourselves and Crazy Raccoon?
If I be realistic this point also, if it was not Winston meta, maybe maybe I can be put their level not too much high, but right now it's Winston meta, so they're actually strong.
Perfect for them, isn't
They're
it? Yeah.
yeah.
Do you think because a lot of people say they think it is still
Hmm.
just final will just be you versus Crazy Raccoon like always. Do you think this is still true for this major?
I'm not sure about this point, to be honest. Because Crazy Raccoon have their specialty. If the Crazy Raccoon only can facing about the Winston situation, might be some team can possible like making them to be put down or same as us like if the some team try to only can like put down to be our downside is can still have a China team or like what is it Butcher's Throw can possible to do that, but my answer is we're not expecting different team be at the final.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like a weak. I mean, in that situation, if there's some other team just at the final, we can think about that time, right? But
Hmm.
we're like we already have so much time for spending time for the Creed Lacun at the final, so we doesn't want to think about different thing.
Yeah. How confident then? Obvious next question. How confident do you feel against Crazy Raccoon? Because you beat them obviously
How
in Asia.
confidence?
Yeah. And you beat them on Winston in Asia as well.
Okay, if they don't have a ball, the Hammond,
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident. With that, it's a different scenario. So I can't answer like it's like a defend of the day to day, like who has a better strategy, who has a better condition, and who has a more like a pray for like their shot.
I wanted to talk about the tournament itself as well. Your first game is against OWCS versus Junkbuck, someone you've worked with a lot in the past. How do you feel playing up against an old friend and a team you've maybe not played so much?
Okay, this is real like my honest answer. But if I can be mad the team, the first of the team in the every tournament, I think Junkbuck is one of the person I really don't want to meet the first time because he making the very good strategy and good calm and high quality about the winning. Like he has his own strategies every single time, and that strategy is also working very well a lot of time, and that is giving us like a lot of like a losing opportunity before like 2022. Houston beat the shock because they Junkbuck making so much good like a strategy. So, but after that, if I saw the strategy, I still can be making some way to be I can handle it. But if I have to meet the first two against the Junkbuck, he's probably the most like a person I don't want to meet at the first. Yeah, the hardest person. Yeah,
because you will be the first to see it and the first to play versus it.
So I kind of like a freak out right now. I'm not joking about it. Yeah.
If all goes to plan and you do beat Junkbuck and OWCS, the expected next game is you will play once again on that side of the bracket. Obviously, we have seen a version of Falcons play versus once again a lot, even at the Esports World Cup last year, where once again won. Even at the Overwatch World Cup, a lot of the same players played against Team China. Also lost playing a Winston composition as well. Are we going to get the same again this year? Is it all lining up for another rematch? And this time, can Korea beat China?
That is like a hardest answer for me, but I think yeah. I can't say I'm gonna lose to them. But once the game is a very strong team, and they're like a player is actually very nice. Yeah, they're very like a nice person, but match is match. So I really want to win against them because last year, we losing at the EWC to them, and that's like a not good memory for our player. And I think Zero win late against them, right?
Yeah, and unfortunately, Winston meta again. It just history repeats itself. I mean, to be fair, I think everyone probably feels the same about playing once again. This meta, this LAN.
True.
And then, last thing, I just want to ask, do you have anything to say for the fans of Team Falcon before the big event this week?
I mean, a lot of time we have struggled this earlier year and the last year stage 2, but when we struggle, probably we're the one of the team can be solve the problem as a team. And we're not like just put any single person to be making the situation be better, be by one person. So try to believe us, and we will be handle it. And thank you for like cheering us every single time, and even different time zone. And we will prove it again. Try.
Thank you very much, NineK. I appreciate your time. Safe travels, and obviously best of luck for the major this weekend.
Yeah. Thank you so much.